For all the excitement surrounding the idea of the show's return, the risks of a Lucifer revival are hard to ignore. After 6 seasons of devilish charm, celestial chaos, and heartfelt growth, Lucifer wrapped up its story in a way that felt emotionally final, at least for its 2 central characters. While the Fox, and, later, Netflix, show certainly left room for some dangling threads to be explored further, particularly with newer characters or alternate timelines, the Lucifer finale struck a tone of bittersweet resolution that could be dangerously disrupted by any attempt to revisit it. Lucifer, starring Tom Ellis as the titular devil-turned-lapped consultant, began as a crime procedural with a supernatural twist and evolved into a character-driven drama about redemption, love, and free will. The final season of Lucifer, while divisive, offered a definitive end to Lucifer Morningstar's journey, especially his romance with Chloe Decker. A Lucifer revival might promise more action, more character moments, or more theological shenanigans, but it also runs the risk of unraveling what the series managed to accomplish emotionally. There's a lot that could go right with a Lucifer revival, but just as much that could go wrong, especially if it tampers with the one part of the finale that made the heartbreak worthwhile. Lucifer Season 6 dance. Related. Why Lucifer Season 7 isn't happening, what Tom Ellis' DC future looks like. While Lucifer has survived cancellation before, it appears that Season 6 will be the show's last. But is that all for Tom Ellis' popular character? After all the Season 6 complaints, a Lucifer revival would be a great way to offer closure. A revival could redeem Season 6 flaws and explore the stories the finale rushed past. While Lucifer's final season had its highlights, it also left a vocal part of the fanbase feeling unsatisfied. Lucifer Season 6 leaned heavily into the story of Rory, Lucifer and Chloe's time-traveling daughter, which many viewers found jarring. Rory's sudden introduction, central role, and the time loop paradox surrounding her existence felt like a forced narrative detour. Some fans were disappointed that it took attention away from the main cast of Lucifer and the ongoing arcs they'd followed for 5 seasons. For a final season, it didn't always feel like a grand send-off. A Lucifer revival could be the show's chance to fix the flaws of the final season. Rather than rewriting the ending, it could expand on underdeveloped ideas. For example, Amenedel's future as God was only briefly touched upon. Rory's backstory, and her future, could be more thoroughly fleshed out to give her real purpose beyond simply motivating Lucifer's final decision. With more time, characters like Maze and Eve could receive deeper exploration into their new relationship and responsibilities. There's plenty of room to revisit the dynamics without directly undermining the final choices of the main Lucifer storyline. Depending on the timeline, a Lucifer revival could even explore Lucifer and Chloe's life in hell after their reunion in the finale's last moments. The idea of the devil and his detective running therapy sessions for damned souls practically writes itself. That said, while such a concept might sound intriguing, it also opens up the door to some of the worst risks of a Lucifer revival. Any misstep in handling this afterlife storyline could turn what was a poetic ending into something more hollow. Even though there's narrative potential, it would have to be executed very carefully to avoid cheapening what came before. There's one part of the finale Lucifer can't change even if it wanted to. Lucifer and Chloe's emotional separation is locked in, and undoing it would cheapen everything. Lucifer and Chloe Decker dancing. Even if a revival did move forward, Lucifer can't, and shouldn't, undo the core emotional sacrifice of its finale, Lucifer and Chloe's separation. In Partners, Till the End, Lucifer chooses to stay in hell to help lost souls find redemption, while Chloe lives out the rest of her natural life on Earth. Their separation is painful, but it's framed as purposeful. It gives Lucifer the opportunity to fulfill a greater mission, finally embracing the selfless side he spent the entire series growing into, while fans were understandably frustrated that the couple they rooted for was forced apart, undoing that sacrifice would feel narratively cheap. The scene in Lucifer where Chloe dies in her later years and joins Lucifer in hell, reuniting with him for eternity, may be brief, but it's loaded with meaning. It's a reward for their individual sacrifices, and the payoff to their entire relationship arc. A revival that tried to place them back together in a way that disregards that sacrifice would seriously undercut the emotional weight of the finale. There's also the practical issue of logistics. With Chloe now dead and in the afterlife, and Rory having returned to her future, any story set post-finale would be stuck in a metaphysical space with limited stakes. On the other hand, any story set during the show's original timeline would risk breaking the carefully established time loop that Season 6 depended on. This makes revisiting Lucifer and Chloe during their lifetimes incredibly complicated, both in terms of canon and emotional logic. The risks of a Lucifer revival are particularly sharp here. There's no clean way to undo Lucifer and Chloe's separation without making it feel like the ending never mattered in the first place. Even with its problems, Lucifer and Chloe's happy ending makes a Lucifer revival risky. Their reunion was the perfect payoff, and revisiting it could ruin the magic. Tom Ellis and Lauren German as Lucifer Morningstar and Chloe Decker kissing in Lucifer Season 6. Despite the frustration that Lucifer and Chloe were separated for so long, the final moments of the Lucifer series finale gave fans something powerful: closure. In the end, after lifetimes apart, they're together again. Not in heaven, but in hell, where Lucifer has taken on the role of a compassionate guide for the damned. The final scene of Lucifer is quiet, understated, and deeply moving. Chloe walks through the doors of Lucifer's hell therapy office, and she simply says, "I thought you could use a partner." It's a callback to their very first interaction and a full-circle moment that ties up 6 seasons of complex emotional development. The reason this ending works so well for Lucifer is because it's definitive. Lucifer earns his redemption not by abandoning his responsibilities but by embracing them. Chloe, after a full life of service, joins him not out of tragedy, but as a natural progression of her arc. The balance of joy and sorrow is what makes the ending of Lucifer so effective and so risky to revisit. A Lucifer revival would either have to exclude Lucifer and Chloe entirely, which risks alienating the fanbase, or include them in a way that unravels their emotional ending. If the story picks up after their reunion in hell, there's potential for a creative continuation, but also the chance of over-explaining or undermining the poetic ambiguity that made the finale land so well. Worse, if the revival somehow brings them back to the land of the living, it risks making their sacrifice feel pointless. In trying to give fans more, the show could end up giving them less.